Is India one of the most racist countries in the entire world? Well, maybe we should ask the Untouchables of India.
Yes, sirree.
I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style.
I think it's Thursday.
You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Geez,
Oh yeah, because
it goes on and on and on.
for all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of.
Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. Yes, India is one of those countries that has a caste system that dates back about 3,000 years. It's due to the Hindu religion. And as long as the country's run politically by Hindus, that caste system is not going to go away. It was abolished in the 1950s, but the caste system still goes on and on and on. If you're born a high caste, like a Brahmin at the top, then you're an intellectual, considered an intellectual. You're probably not the smartest boy in the block, but you're a teacher, you're an intellectual, you're one of the high caste people of India. And that never changes. You're born into that caste, and your children will be born into that caste, and their children, and their children. And this has been going on, as I say, for a couple thousand years. I think 1,000 years longer than Christianity has been around. So think about that. All right. So, but if you're born a Dalit and the lowest caste, you're an untouchable. You're one of those people. See, you get the lower caste and the higher caste. The higher caste won't live in the same community as a low caste. Well, why would we want to do that? Like, these people are lower than us. They're untouchables. They're dirty. They're filthy. They live in the slums. We don't live in the slums. We live way up on the top of the hill, of course. They won't even share the water well with the lower caste. Marry into a lower caste? Are you nuts? No, no, no. That's where honor killings come from. And if you want to marry into a lower caste, well, now you've got to deal with daddy and his machete. So the whole system is all screwed up. It's not a fair system. But then you get these Palki Sharmas of the world, the on News, and everybody is out to get the Indian people. They're all racist. They hate us. They call us curry affairs and the old Indian farmer with the pulling a cow along, and you've seen the cartoons. But do they bring this upon themselves? Are they when they have these cartoons, are they looking at the lower caste or the higher caste? And who's brought this lower caste into the public eye but the higher caste in India? You see, about 25% of the whole Indian population, 1.4 billion people, 1.4 billion people, are of the lowest class. The street sweepers, the latrine cleaners, the people working in brick kiln yards, people that pick garbage and recycle and live in the slums and have basically no education, no fresh drinking water, just fight from day to survive. Hundreds of millions of Indian people, and they'll never get out of it. They were born into that caste, they'll die in that caste. So will their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, and so on and so on and so on down the road. Just because it was abolished, the caste system abolished in the 1950s, doesn't mean it's changed the minds of the Indian people, because it hasn't. Not even a little bit. But yet, it's those people out there that are racist against the Indian people, not the Indian people being racist against themselves. Just imagine if you're born in India. Say you're 20 years old. You're born 20 years ago in India. And you're born as a Dalit, a low caste, an untouchable. And you live in a slum. And you have basically no education. You have no chance to better your position in India. and your children will have the same chances as you have and their children. How does this portray a democracy? How does this better the country? How does this make India a country where people should like, respect, honor, whatever? Well, it doesn't. It's one of those things that, and I think that's why India is looked down upon by the rest of the world, and they are. Whether it's racism or whether it's this social, political, religious understanding of how their world works. The rich people don't care that the poor people live in slums. They don't care that they don't have clean drinking water. They don't care that there's garbage everywhere in those areas because it's not in the rich areas, it's only in the poor areas. No, people have said, Gweilo, you made videos about the slums of India, but you haven't showed the nice areas of India. Well, the idea that showing the nice areas of India is just showing the high caste area where these people dominate the lower people. Well, geez, there's a fair world, isn't it? You know what I mean? And then the politicians don't help at all, or they get the castes to vote in groups of the caste. One caste will vote this way, one caste will vote that way, and it's all to do with the politicians. And the lower castes are easily manipulated. Like if you have no education, you're easily misled, fooled, and you see a lot of that going on in India at this time and in the past. So when you look at the nice areas, those are the areas that the low-end people, the untouchables, the low caste characters, the latrine cleaners, they're not allowed to go. Oh no, we don't want those people over here where we live. They might make it dirty here because they are dirty people. Why are they dirty people? Well, because of the caste system and the Hindu religion and all this other stuff. See, it goes around in a big circle and it's never going to change. So how can India be taken seriously? It can't. It never will be. And there'll always be those people that say, well, everybody's picking on me, as they pick on themselves. And I think that's the biggest problem that India has today, is that they just don't understand that they're eating themselves from within. They're dementing their society, and they have over the last 3,000 years, and they're doing it now, and they're going to go into the future and do it because the Hindus want to run the country. The Hindus are by far the biggest demographic, and that's just the way that it is there, and people put up with it. And until they stop putting up with it, then it'll never change. And because it hasn't changed for so long, I don't think it'll ever change. And India will always be that unfair religious caste system that everybody looks at it and doesn't like, won't have anything to do with it, stays away from it, looks at it as, even if you're a high caste in India, the outside world will look at you as the low caste just for the fact that you allow that to happen in your own world, in your own country, to your own countrymen and women and children. So maybe you should start to change this system to something that resembles a fair society like the Chinese have. Because I got a buddy. He started out as a poor little village boy, and now he's an oncologist. He's a really good doctor, and because he grew up in a village in China, he looked at the school as the way out, and it was the way out for him, because now he does really well. He's got bucks in his jeans. He's got a nice family, and it's all because of education. So now, if India just educated their untouchables, yeah, the untouchables, brought them out of poverty, got rid of the slums, what do you think? Would the world say, "Oh no, look what's happening in India"? Well, they would, but India is more interested in their upper class being held on a pedestal rather than worrying about those lower class people that is going to bring down the entire country, and has and will, and it'll never change because that's the way it is. And that's another video from Gweilo 60. And if you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and resubscribe, because chances are every once in a while you get unsubscribed, and that's just the way it is. YouTube hates me, but whatever. I'm still here. They haven't cut me off yet. So until next time, peace out. Bye now.